East Lansing, Michigan, the place to be tonight inside Jenison Fieldhouses. We've got two contrasting teams colliding this evening as the 14th ranked Fighting Illini riding a 4-meet win streak, while Michigan State is still searching for their first dual meet win this season. Next to a former Michigan Wolverine, Eddie Humphrey, I'm Dan Kelly. It's good to have you with us tonight on the Big Ten Network. And you look at this matchup and it seems to favor the University of Illinois, Eddie.
Well, University of Illinois is going to have a great shot tonight, and it's going to come down to their leader, Allison Buckley, leading the way with already 10 event titles this season, leaving her 5 short of the all-time Illinois record.
Where and when is this event going to be won tonight? What should we keep our eyes on?
Keep your eyes on the balance beam. It's going to come down to Melissa Fernandez and Kelsey Joannides, both scoring a 9.9 in last weekend's event. If they do the same thing tonight, Illinois should have a very good shot in winning the victory plank.
Let's look elsewhere around the Big Ten Conference at the top 10. And Kylie Boderman from your alma mater leading the way, and some other good names and some names we're going to see tonight from the Fighting Illini.
Kylie Boderman has been having a huge season, scoring a perfect 10 a couple of weeks ago on the vault, but you can never count out the Illini from Allison Buckley and Melissa Fernandez, both rounding in the top 10.
We go from the top 10 to the top 25 teams in the country, and again, there's the University of Michigan sitting pretty up there with Penn State.
Michigan always has a target on their back in the Big Ten, but you can never count out Penn State and Illinois close on their heels.
And there's the 14th ranked Fighting Illini, University of Iowa and Ohio State also representing the Big Ten Conference proudly, rounded out by the University of Minnesota. So the target on the back tonight is the University of Illinois as they fight for a plank. We've got the gymnastics action straight ahead on the Big Ten Network. Back in the land of green and white inside Jenison Fieldhouse is the Spartans hosting the Fighting Illini in Big Ten Women's Gymnastics. Let's look elsewhere around the standings of the Big Ten Conference. And Eddie Humphrey, does anything stand out there or surprise you?
It's no surprise to see the University of Michigan at the top of the Big Ten right now, winning 20 of the last 22 Big Ten titles. But close on their heels is the Penn State Nittany Lions.
And those Nittany Lions hosting Ohio State tomorrow in Big Ten Women's Gymnastics. Coverage starts at 1 Eastern in HD, only on the Big Ten Network. Well, Eddie, when you look at the meet tonight, Allison Buckley of the University of Illinois, a competitor to keep your eyes on, just a phenomenal athlete.
She has been amazing this year, and coming into this season already with 42 event titles, again, just 5 short of the all-time Illini record.
Buckley providing the senior leadership, and Melissa Fernandez also noteworthy.
Melissa Fernandez is a key player, especially when it comes down to the last event on the balance beam, where she is the Illini's first ever first-team All-American.
Meanwhile, Michigan State, they're struggling this season. They look for some help from the freshman Danny Levy.
Michigan State has been battling some injuries, but Danny Levy has stepped up and will be competing in the all-around tonight. So look for Michigan State to count on her for success.
Providing energy, Shanti Taiki.
Shanti Taiki, we won't be seeing her in the all-around tonight, but will be contributing on 3 events. Starting out strong on the vault, as she starts out big, Michigan State is off to a great start.
So those are the big names to keep your eyes on. We've got the first rotation when we come back to East Lansing. Join us for Big Ten Women's Gymnastics on the other side. Back live in East Lansing, Michigan, first annual Autism Awareness Meet. Idea was started by Dr. Larry Nasser, the MSU team physician and the father of an autistic child, his daughter Carolyn. Presentation tonight by local gymnasts with special needs and featuring Olympic gold medalist Nastia Lukin. She spoke earlier about her experience with the Special Olympics.
I've been working with Special Olympics for a few years now. My mom and I help out on Sundays when they train their gymnastics, and you know, it's just really close to my heart. They've been coming to our gym a lot for their training sessions, and we have their competitions there that we help out with. And so when Larry approached me with this event, I was very honored to be part of it and excited to be here.
From Nastia, we move to the task at hand, the series history between these two teams, the University of Illinois and Michigan State. 5 of the last 6 dual meets have gone to the visitors. The first meeting way back in 1976. First rotation, Michigan State will begin on the vault. And there's the lineup as they're still looking for their first win this season. It's been a different season, and at times a stressful season and a challenging season for head coach Kathy Klages in her 21st season. Challenges that she's never encountered before. And on the bar lineup for the University of Illinois, there we see the names. Coach Kim Landress talking about the key stickboard landings. That's something that her group has been working on in practice. They've lost a lot of points to landings recently, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves, though, overall right now. 4-meet winning streak, looking to extend it to 5 tonight. That's a look at the interim head coach, Kim Landress. Big crowd on hand tonight. Eddie Humphrey, this should be fun.
Now, this is going to be a great meet tonight. 2 Big Ten teams going head-to-head. Illinois looking for their first ever 5th straight win in a row. So it should be some pretty exciting gymnastics going on tonight.
They battle for a victory plank trophy tonight. There's a traveling trophy as the victory plank trophy. It was created by Michigan State boosters and reminiscent of the 1970s when it was made of wood. That's what the plank is made with. As Illinois won the first one last year, so they've traveled up with it from Champaign to East Lansing, and they hope to hang on to it.
And that was one incredible meet because, like you said, Illinois has the plank right now, and last year they took it by just 1/10 over Michigan State. So Michigan State is going to be looking for a little bit of revenge today to get the plank back, bring it back to East Lansing.
In Illinois, 4 all-arounders for the University of Illinois. Pretty unique, and this is a talented group. As we mentioned, the 14th ranking, their highest of the season. They were ranked 17th in the preseason, and they look to continue to move on up. Meanwhile, Michigan State last weekend, Kathy Klages' group fell to Ohio State, and we mentioned they've not won a dual meet this year, so they look to experience the winning feeling. 2 weeks ago, though, they had a pretty good performance against New Hampshire with a season best score of over 193. And here's another look at the standings in the Big Ten Conference, and there are the numbers for the University of Illinois.
And what I like about the Big Ten this year, very strong with 6 teams being in the top 25. Minnesota rounding out at number 21. A lot of strength coming in the Big Ten this season. I think we could be seeing a little more depth come time for regional and national championships for this conference, hoping to get at least 3 teams into the NCAA title.
There's Kim Landress, interim head coach. We mentioned that 4-meet win streak, matching the longest since 2005, looking to win 5 straight meets for the first time since 1995. So the green and white is going to be up against it tonight.
A lot of history between these 2 teams. They've been competing for more than 35 years now. And Michigan State looking for their first win in almost 3 years against the Illini.
It's been a tumultuous season, as we mentioned, for Michigan State. And if you're going to have difficult times and not many victories, that's the person that you want in charge, Kathy Klages. Her enthusiasm is contagious. As Michigan State ready to go here, first rotation, they'll begin on the vault. Serena Bumbarger, the 5'1" freshman out of Seminole, Florida.
Beginning with the Uchenko full, a little bit short on the landing. And she looked a little bit slow on her block off the horse, causing her not to get enough amplitude in the air. Coming into the landing a little bit short, has to take a big step forward. Starting off on the bars for Illinois, Macy Hyatt.
Coach Kim Landers said her group's been a little inconsistent, but when they're on the bars, they have been great.
She scored a 9.725 in her last competition. Coach said she's very consistent. One of the reasons she's the very first up. Try to get the ball rolling, get a little excitement going for the team. She performs a blind full pirouette to a swing half turn handstand, bail to handstand.
She injured her elbow last year, still taking it slowly this year is Macy Hyatt.
And a good start for Illinois. Not a huge routine, but that's the kind of routine that you want to put up first. Get your team excited, get a good hit in, stuck landing. Setting up for her dismount, a full twisting double tuck, and no movement from the feet. The perfect routine that you want to start your bar routine out with.
Setting the tone, Coach Landers talking about the little things have been missing to get to a 9.8. You have to have the little things, not huge misses. Now we go back to the vault. Kelsey Morley, the senior out of Elkhart, Indiana.
Now this is an interesting vault. She's going to do a full onto the horse and a 1.5 off. And you know, every time I see it, it seems to just get better and better. Almost stuck to landing. A vault that I honestly can say I've never seen anybody else do this vault. I don't even know if anybody else in the country is competing this vault right now. Very unique, always fun to watch.
Kelsey pulls it off, a nice look of determination there, and now it's more of a celebration and relief for Kelsey as we move over to the bars. Alina Weinstein. Her coach calls her the most improved. A slow start last year. Late last season, stepped into the all-around and really set the tone for off-season training, and now it's carried over for Alina.
Well, she's making, well, I was just going to say she's making a name for herself, and already she's a little bit off, has to take a counter swing, a few counter swings, and she just looks lost right now.
Let's see if she can find it.
She's struggling a little bit. She hits her heels on the Tkachev. Seem to be pulling it back. That was a packed salto. The transition from the high bar to the low bar, moving back to the high bar. Gearing for her dismount. And again, the same skill she's short on. And anytime the gymnast falls like that, they have 30 seconds to regroup. And it's a mandatory 5/10 deduction. Here's a look. She's doing a blind change, supposed to do a pirouette out of the blind change, and she's short of the handstand and can't complete the skill, has to come down. And she's either going to repeat the skill and go to her dismount. I'm guessing she'll probably just go straight to the dismount, but we'll see here.
This has to be a challenge to refocus.
It always is. You never plan for a fall. In practice, you always train, you hit your routines, but you never plan for the fall. It's always hard to come back for something that you haven't planned for like that.
So Alina Weinstein getting support. So we move back over to the vault. Danny Levy, the freshman from Newport Richey, Florida. We talked to her coach. She says, boy, is she a freshman. Experiencing the growing pains. We'll see how Danny performs.
Only a freshman, but has been leading the way for the Spartans. Yurchenko, another full, good landing. Very nicely done from the freshman. You always like to see your freshmen stepping up, especially the second performer early in the lineup. We're going to see a lot of this vault today. Yurchenko entry, which means a round off onto the board, back handspring onto the horse. And she does a full twist in the laid out position.
It's good to see some smiles on the green and white. Very serious tone during warm-ups, but here during the first rotation, so far so good as we move back to the bars. And a junior, Kelsey Joannades. Out of Frederick, Maryland. She exhibitioned on the bars last week.
Had a strong, solid performance and worked herself into the lineup today. We will be seeing her in the all-around. Has been a big contributor this season to this Illinois team. But we'll have to pick it up here as the last performer did fall.
It's the second Kelsey we've seen perform today. Kelsey Morley from Michigan State. This is Kelsey Joannidis on the bar for Illinois.
And so far she's looking good. Hitting good handstands, setting up for her dismount, a double layout, and just a step on the landing, but a good routine to bring Illinois back in it.
That little step on the landing, will it affect her score much?
That's going to be about a 10th step. The judges can take 2/10 if they really want to, but not a major deduction. Probably just 1/10 of deduction.
So it's Kelsey Joannidis doing the job on the bars for the University of Illinois. Next up on the vault for Michigan State, Shanti Taiki, a top all-around athlete. She was sick all week. Coach Klages doesn't know what she'll get, limited practice, but she says Shanti's a pretty tough-minded competitor. Somehow, some way, she'll get the job done with a sophomore.
She's a great competitor, only a sophomore, but I have no doubts in her that she's going to come out swinging big today. You see she has a knee brace on, had some injuries she battled, and performs the same vault that we saw previously. Yurchenko laid out full. Had to pike down just a little bit, so she will incur a deduction there. Great position on the horse, a little bit early on the twist, has to pike it down. But Michigan State is looking solid on the vault.
And earlier on the bars, Kelsey Joannidis, her score. We stay with the bars, Jacqueline Kantecki, 9.8, tied for first on the bars at Kentucky. Gave her second career event title. She's improved a lot since freshman year. Jacqueline is pretty steady on the bars.
A blind change full pirouette to a Delchev. A flyaway with a half twist in a straddle position. Working for a dismount. A full twisting double tuck. Oh, and she has to take a few steps out of it. A great routine, but gave away a lot of deductions on that landing. And Illinois right now is struggling a little bit on the bars. Stays in her flip a little too long. You can see she doesn't bend her knees on her landing. Has to fight for it, keeps it on her feet.
Moments ago on the vault, a 9.75 for Shanti Taiki. In the green and white, considering the start, has to be feeling pretty good about themselves. The first rotation continues on the vault for Michigan State. Here's Deneen Haba. Top on the vault last weekend, along with Nikki Argyros, with identical scores of 9.77 for a third-place tie.
And a very clean vault. I really like the way she does this vault. A nice late half twist. And what makes this vault so difficult is that it's very hard to see the landing. But each time we've seen her, she's nailed the landing. Yurchenko in the laid out position. Half twist, just a tiny hop. And Michigan State has to really like what they see right now, as Illinois is opening the door for them, and they seem to be taking the advantage.
9.55 for Kantecki on the bars. We'll see what Melissa Fernandez can do. She broke out last year as a junior. Injuries fact, or rather Sarah Fielder here for the University of Illinois.
A Jaeger, she missed that in warm-ups. Has no problem with it there. A bail to a handstand, transitioning. So far, looking good. Double layout dismount. And just the performance Illinois was looking for. A last-minute addition. Doesn't seem to be frazzled at all.
They're replacing Melissa Fernandez at the last minute, and here's another look at the prowess of Sarah on the bars.
A very nice hollow double layout. Doesn't move her feet at all. And that's the way you handle pressure.
There's Deneen Haba. Her score on the vault, a 9-7 for Haba. So we move back to the vault. Nikki Argyros, 110th in the nation, leads Michigan State on the vault this year out of Livonia, Michigan. Here goes Nikki.
The hometowner. Yurchenko full. Done well. Competing in front of a lot of hometown friends and family today. One of her last competitions in the state of Michigan, her second to last. So look for her to compete with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy today. Again, we see the Yurchenko entry. A layout full. And Michigan State giving away a little bit of hops here and there. But a great performance from the hometown girl from Michigan.
See Sarah Fiedler scores on the bars. We mentioned a last-minute insert. She was supposed to perform in the exhibition. She does the job. Now it's Allison Buckley out of Schaumburg, Illinois. 50 career event titles for Allison Buckley, second all-time at Illinois.
Allison is the second Illini to ever earn a first-team All-American honors. That release move you saw was a Tkachev. Transitioning to the high bar. Doing a blind change to a double front, half out. And a beautiful dismount, performing a double front with a half twist. No coincidence that in attendance tonight, Nastia Lukin performed the same dismount at the Olympics. And a good finish for Illinois. They struggled a bit. And there's her dismount again, a double front with a half twist. And she knew she was going to nail that landing, was already smiling before her feet hit the floor.
So a good finish on the bars from Allison Buckley. Pretty good start by Michigan State. When we come back, the Spartans will go to the bars, the Fighting Illini onto the vault. Don't miss the biggest conference event of the year as teams from around the Big Ten compete for individual and team titles at the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championships. Coming to you Saturday, March 19th at 3 Eastern from Minnesota, only on the Big Ten Network. One rotation down, 3 to go as Coach Kim Landris looking on, and we see the bar results from her team and Macy Hyatt leading the way.
Not a bad performance for Illinois, but definitely not their best. Opened up the door a little bit with some landings and a couple missed handstands, but still should look pretty solid going into the next event.
Speaking of solid, Michigan State was pretty solid on the vault.
Michigan State looked great. They're off to a great start. I think with Illinois opening the door for them, we're going to see a tight race here.
Kathy Clegg is all smiles after one rotation.
Michigan State looking strong so far.
I mean, look at the lineups on the vault for the University of Illinois. Season best scorer versus UIC. It really allowed him to jump out to an early advantage for the Fighting Illini. And on the bars, the leader of the team there, Nikki Argyros, will start things off on the bars for the green and white.
She also led the way on the vault, winning almost every competition as far as the Spartans go. She's been a great leader for this team, hoping to stay consistent on bars, keep this competition close. And as you see, Illinois leads by just less than a tenth there, 48.8 to 48.725, 75/100ths of a tenth. So it is very close right now. Illinois is going to a strong event where they are ranked 24th in the country on vault.
Here's the look at the last two vaults.
Nicole Argyros vaulting her way to a 9.8. And the always reliable Allison Buckley hitting yet another routine.
Momentum. Michigan State would like to carry it from the vault now to the bars. Can that happen? The positive feeling that the Spartans have at the beginning of this meet?
Well, the Spartans have struggled with that this year, starting out well, but not quite closing the door. So hopefully we'll see a different Michigan State today, trying to put a stamp on the rest of this competition.
Shanti Taiki and company trying to get their teammates motivated. Here's we are about to get set for this second rotation.
As you see, Michigan State warming up.
Well, women's gymnastics, big time presence this weekend on the Big Ten Network. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, the Buckeyes taking on the 10th ranked Nittany Lions. It's good, Eddie Humphrey, to see all the gymnastics on the big stage of the Big Ten Network, and even the little ones here enjoying it and taking pictures to prove they were here.
I don't even have an iPod.
iPhone.
iPhone, that's right.
Something. Autism Awareness Night here in East Lansing, Michigan. It's the first annual Autism Awareness meet, and they're also battling for a victory plank trophy. And the University of Illinois hopes to hang on to it.
Again, last year defeating Michigan State by only a tenth. Right now we're sitting less than a tenth between the two teams. We could see a similar finish.
That concludes the touch. Judges, you may take control of your event.
Fun atmosphere inside Jenison Fieldhouse. The University of Illinois will begin on the vault. The orange and blue, we mentioned, allowed them to jump out to that early advantage over the University of Illinois Chicago. We'll see if they can use the vault tonight to add to their advantage.
They're a great vaulting team. I expect them to extend their lead here, but it always comes down to good landings.
So Lena Weinstein will start things off on the vault. The sophomore won the all-around last week versus UIC with a personal best 39.15 for Weinstein.
A Yurchenko entry again to another laid out full. Very well performed. should see these scores start to come up with performances like that. Great extension to the horse, gets a good block, a good lift, and takes a small step.
Next up, out of Livonia, Michigan. They mentioned one of the leaders, the senior, Nikki Argyros. Here on the bars in the second rotation for Michigan State.
She scored a 9.85 last weekend. That would be a tremendous start if she could go 9.85 to start the Spartans here. To a very nice ginger. There's a flyway with a half turn in the pike position. And if she sticks this landing, we could be looking at another 9.85 plus. Double layout. Small hop. It's going to be pretty close to that. She seems to like it.
Another look at the work of Nikki Argyros.
This is a double flyway in a stretched position. Performs it very nicely.
Moments ago, we see the score 9.75 on the vault for Alina Weinstein. Now on the vault, Jacqueline Kantecki out of suburban Chicago. Bridgeview, Illinois, is the 5'5" sophomore.
Another full twist. And you see she's a little bit stiff-legged on the landing, has to bend a little bit more, had to take a step that she probably wouldn't have had to take if she landed with bent legs. Bringing a lot of excitement back to the bench. The position in the air looks great. Straight body. Just a little bit stiff on the landing. But a score that Illinois can count.
High fives for Jacqueline Kantecki. .985 moments ago on the bars for Nikki Argyros. Here's Selena Rodriguez, the 5'1" junior from Kentwood, Michigan.
Another hometowner. Struggled a bit last weekend, scoring a 9.1, trying to redeem herself today in front of the home crowd. Hitting very nice handstands. Right on top of the bar to a straddle back handstand. To a toe up, transitioning to the high bar. Line change full pirouette, double tuck. And we saw the same landing from the Illinois performer previously. Just holds on to her flip a little too long and has to take steps out of her landings. It was a great routine. Just holds on a little too long. Has to take a few steps back. And that's going to be 1/10 for each step.
Kantecki on the vault, a 9.7 with the score for Jacqueline. Continue on the vault. And there's Melissa Fernandez. She was a last-second replacement on the first rotation on the bars, but Melissa goes to work here in the vault for the Fighting Illini.
Back in action, Uchenko. And what I really love about this vault is how late she does the twist in the air. She really shows the layout position first with a late full twist and almost sticks it. Very nice technique. That's going to score really well.
Selena Rodriguez on the bars scored 9.65 for Selena. Kelsey Mazer. That's why you said, let's go Mazer. That was Selena cheering on. So here's Kelsey Mazer out of LaGrange, Illinois. She exhibition last week on the bars. She's had concussion problems, though, so Kelsey's been dealing with that this year.
Another blind change full pirouette. Ginger. A little bit of split in the legs on the Ginger, as well as on the bail to handstand. So far, looking good. And a blind change, double tuck. And a good performance from Mazur.
Nicknamed the Beam Queen, Kelsey Mazur, looking pretty good on the bars also.
Well, Michigan State is staying solid and consistent. One of the things that they have struggled with this year. But they are keeping themselves in this battle.
Melissa Fernandez's score on the vault, a 9.77. She cheers on Kelsey Joannidis, who looks to regain her form from freshman year when she was Big Ten vault champion and all-around competitor.
And I remember watching that vault. It was an amazing vault. Huge, stuck the landing cold. Let's see if she can duplicate it. And almost does. Just takes a small, tiny hop on the landing. Probably didn't even need to. And a very common vault we see. A full twist. Performs it just as well as anybody.
Not stuck cold in the words of Eddie Humphrey, but pretty darn close.
Come on, Danny. Come on, Danny.
Kelsey Mazur scored 9.7 on the bars.
Michigan State would like to close out this rotation with a big routine from their freshmen.
She had a pretty good start in the vault, did Danny Levy. Now goes to work on the bars.
A lot of good momentum going for the Spartans. Straight to handstand on the cast. Pike Jaeger had to stretch out all the way to catch that one. That was beautiful. And a very unique straddle back. Actually doesn't even straddle, does the whole skill in a straight body position. Setting up for her dismount. A big routine from the freshman. And Michigan State is coming out to play today.
And through 2 rotations, Danny doesn't look like a freshman tonight.
Not at all, competing like a veteran, performing a full twisting double back there. Coach Kalegas has to be very pleased.
Come on, Bam. Let's
The
get it.
vault 9.85 moments ago from Kelsey Joannidis. Here in the second rotation of the vault now, it's Amber C's turn out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. Had a 9.8 versus UIC last week, a career high for the 5'2" freshman Amber C.
And look at the focus, and she's going to need it. She's performing a huge vault. Only one in this competition doing it. A handspring front with a full twist. Had problems with it in warm-ups. See if she can hit it. And she performs it a lot better than she did in the warm-ups. Has to take a step to the side. But a very big vault. That was a really good vault. She actually reaches out quite a bit on that vault. I would like to see her get her hands down to the horse a little bit faster. That would give her a bigger block and allow her to get more time in the air to finish her landing. You can see her hands all the way down to the end of the horse, right here. But a very hard vault to do. I don't even know if anybody else in the NCAA is competing that vault. Should bring in a big score.
We'll wait for that score. In the meantime, we check out Danny Levy's score on the bars, a 9.77 for Danny. It's been a good 2 rotations for Levy. So next up, it's Deneen Haba, the junior. See her score on the vault, a 9.7.
And Michigan State has been swinging very confident setting up Abba in a great position. There's no pressure on her right now as the team has all their hits. This is just for extra measure.
How many hits do you get, Eddie?
Well, there's 6 gymnasts that compete. 5 of the top scores count. So anytime you have your first 5 gymnasts hit, takes a lot of pressure off your last gymnast, and that was a big routine. A stuck landing. Michigan State swinging big tonight, really going after it, giving it all they got. A unique dismount, a toe on half with a late half out. To a nice landing. Even got a smile from the judge.
And a smile from Amber. She just thanks her mom and dad.
And parents have to be pleased with that vault.
Priorities, priorities. The competitors have them tonight. Here's Allison Buckley for the University of Illinois.
Again, anchoring the Illini. Full twist. And a step on the landing. Illinois showing why they are a top 25 vaulting team. Performing all 10 vaults. Very nice amplitude off the horse. A little bit higher than most of the pulls that we saw today.
Deneen Haba 9-8 on the bars. She says hello to Catherine Mahoney. Money, we love you. Speaking of their fallen teammate is Jackie Berg now. The junior, top on the team, 42nd in the nation. Second last weekend with a personal best at a team best score of a 9-7 for Jackie.
She has been the Spartans' most consistent athlete this season on this event. That's why she's the anchor, trying to bring in their big score. And that is why she is the top Spartan swinger. Bringing it home with another stuck cold landing. Michigan State looking strong. 12 for 12 right now. The beautiful double layout, stuck it. Big smiles for a big routine.
Jackie Berg making money, proud there with that routine.
Hi, Giovanni.
It's Allison Buckley on the vault, a score 9-8. And now the exhibition for University of Illinois. Elise Gill out of Afton, Minnesota, the 5'7" sophomore.
A strong run and a handspring front pike. Takes a big step forward. But a hard vault to perform. You can't see the landing. You don't see it until the very last second, so it's hard to stick it.
And the main purpose of the exhibitions, Eddie, is experience.
Exactly. The exhibitions give your athletes the time to go out there, get some routines under their belt without putting the pressure on them of having that score to count.
Jackie Berg's score on the bar is a 9-8. Sees cheers on Kelsey Morley, who prepares here for the exhibition on the bars for Michigan State. Here's Kelsey Morley.
Finishing up with a blind full, another double tuck. And if you're Coach Klages, you have to be really happy about this. Even your exhibitions going out, hitting big routines. And this is only going to gain confidence for the rest of the meet. Already halfway through, Michigan State not showing any weaknesses.
Now, Coach Kathy Klages and her Spartans, would you say that they have surprised you through the first 2 rotations?
Well, you know, going off of the scores, it is a bit of a surprise, but knowing this Michigan State team in their heart, it doesn't surprise me one bit. These girls are so tough. They've been through everything that you can imagine, giving it all that they have, and showing a great performance here tonight.
And Coach Kathy Klages at the helm for Michigan State, and in charge of the University of Illinois is the interim head coach, Kim Landrus. And Kim, 2 rotations under your team's belt. What are your thoughts?
You know, we went out on bars and we had some uncharacteristic mistakes. We had to pull one of the girls from the lineup at the last minute, but the rest of the 4 in the lineup really pulled through and did an excellent job. We moved on to vault and did some really solid vaults, so I'm happy right now.
And Coach, you had to pull Melissa Fernandez out of the bar lineup. Is she going to be okay to compete for the rest of the meet?
You know, Melissa's fine. It sounds a little silly, but she did a release move in touch and ripped her nail completely off. And so it was just gushing blood and extremely painful, so we didn't think she'd be able to grip the bar for today. So we replaced her, and Sarah came in and did a phenomenal job. So we're, you know, Mel will be fine. She competed on vault, did good. She's on floor and beam, so.
Kim, thanks a lot for the time. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
That's Kim Landrus, the boss of the University of Illinois. So far, they're all smiles. Next up, they go to work on the floor. The Spartans do their job on the balance beam on the other side of this. So after 2 rotations, we've got a close one, Eddie.
And this is a fun one right now. Just like it finished last year, 1/10 difference. We have a 1/10 difference right now with Illinois holding the slight lead.
So halfway home, and it's a pretty tight race. Kathy Klages is standing by, the head coach for Michigan State. And Kathy, how's it been on the floor? Are you pretty pleased through 2 rotations?
I certainly am pleased with 2 rotations. Our team has been doing pretty solid on vault and bars, so we're pretty excited about where they're at right now. Now we need to finish, and that's what we've been lacking in the last number of competitions. So we need to stay focused and make sure that we can put a finish on this exclamation point.
Well, Coach, you guys have been looking great. As I said, you guys have been through a lot this season, but I can definitely see the determination coming out of the team. What did you tell your team differently today to have them come out and look like they have?
Well, you know, they've been practicing well, and they've been practicing well for quite some time now, so we just tried to get them to realize that they just need to kind of treat this more like a practice, and we've got them more involved. If you'll notice that the gymnasts are talking to each other instead of the coaches talking to the gymnasts to try to calm them down a little bit more and make it seem more like practice. And so that's what we're trying to do, and so far it's working. But like I said, we're only halfway. We have to stay focused and stay positive.
Keep it on work, and thanks a lot for the time, Kathy.
Thank you.
It's Kathy Klages, head coach for Michigan State. Time to catch up and look at some scores. 2 rotations done, 2 to go tonight from East Lansing, Michigan, as we'll check out some highlights instead of looking at some scores. And we've seen some highlights from both sides.
That's right. A great vault performed by Kelsey Joannides. Again, winning the 2007 Big Ten title in that event. And Michigan State coming out to play today on bars. Hitting handstands, sticking landings, everything that you can ask for.
Look at the lineup for Michigan State. On the beam, Shanti Taiki will get things started for the green and white. They look to continue their positive momentum through 2 rotations. On the floor for the University of Illinois, they're trying to mimic their performance on the floor against UIC last week. 48.9, 5th best score in program history. So Coach Landrus would like some of that success to translate here to East Lansing.
And this rotation, I think, is going to be the deciding factor right now with Michigan State on beam. I think what they do on the next rotation on the floor exercise is going to be determined by what kind of confidence, what kind of momentum they build here on the balance beam.
Shanti Taiki will open things up. An energetic Coach Klages looks on. Tyke tied for second last weekend with Serena Bumbarger with a score at 9-7 on the beam.
Preparing for her series. Back handspring to a layout step out. Nicely done. Has been very solid for Michigan State, dating back through her freshman season.
Just 4'11". How big is that beam? Just 4 inches, Eddie?
4 inches.
Tyke making it look like 4 feet.
You mentioned only 4'11", but competing like Goliath today. Knee brace and all, giving it everything she has. Teammates cheering her on for her dismount. Front full. Great start for Michigan State. A lot of energy right now pumping through the Spartans.
Confident Coach Klagas looking on. This is the way to start things off on the beam for the Spartans.
And you start it with a big routine just like that. Performing a full turn, that's a requirement. Very focused, poised. And now, pumping up her teammates, giving some helpful words of advice, a little encouragement. If I was her, I'd just say, do it like me.
So a courageous opening performance on the beam for Tyke. We move over to the floor. Sam Perino, 9-8 season high versus UIC at a Yorktown, Virginia, the senior.
And we should see some pretty big tumbling today from Illinois, coming in ranked 6th in the country on this event, and that is why. Big tumbling, big stuck landings.
Kim Landrus calls her consistent and clean on the floor, Sam Perino.
She has great tumbling. She's very tight in the air, good lines. A great floor worker. Preparing for a second pass. Front layout to a front layout with a full twist. Getting a little bit of the dance in there. I think I saw you strutting out your moves before the meet. Was that you?
Learning from Sam.
And a unique dismount, a double full to a punch front. Not the easiest skill to put on your Achilles, but she does it no problem.
It's clear watching Sam Perino. She has fun on the floor.
She has a lot of fun, brings a lot of energy. A great start. This is the type of routine you want to put up first, especially come time for championship lineup time, Big Ten championships, NCAA championships. Double full punch front. And having fun.
Moments ago, Shanti Tyke on the balance beam has scored 9-7-7. Shanti was all smiles after that performance, but now a focused look. She watches Serena Bumbarger, tied for second on the balance beam last week. A score of 9-7-5, leads Michigan State in the beam and 112th in the nation for Bumbarger.
Looking for another performance as she performed last week, hitting a nice solid routine. As you said, tying with her teammate Shanti, and she's off. You can see from the second back handspring, her foot almost halfway off the beam.
See how Bumbarger recovers.
And as we talked about before, 6 performers, top 5 scores count. So they're hoping this is a routine that they're going to have to drop, which puts pressure on the remaining 4 athletes. It's important that she has a strong finish. You never know which routine you're going to have to count. Hoping to drop this one. And a gainer pike layout, a good finish, but disappointing for her. And take a look at her feet. You can see just off from the get-go. Performs a gainer pike dismount. And this is going to be a true test for Michigan State if they can bring back the energy.
See Samantha Perino score on the floor, 9-8. Next up, it's Melissa Fernandez, senior out of Kansas.
Competing without her fingernail, ripped it off in warm-ups. But the tough competitor she is, out here giving all that she has. And in my opinion, gymnasts, some of the toughest athletes in the world. And Melissa showing why right now. Opens up with a double pike. Same pass that we saw from teammate Perino.
How about the strength, the concentration, not just physical strength, but the mental strength. We watch Melissa Fernandez.
And a 2.5 punch front, doing it very easily. And you talked about the mental strength, the focus and concentration that it takes. Such a grueling sport. Even just looking at that last pass, doing 2.5 twists, what kind of focus you have to complete something like that. And on top of that, punching another skill out of it.
And if you fall, you better be ready to get right back up and be unfazed.
That's right. And right now she looks unfazed about anything. That finger doesn't seem to be an issue at all.
This is Illinois' top event, the floor, 6 nationally, and a nice performance from Melissa Fernandez.
Illinois, one of the best in the country on this event. Nice high double pike. Toes pointed in the air, feet tight. And she finishes with a front full, a layout with a full twist to a punch tuck.
Hi, Dad. Love you.
Serena says hello to Dad. Scored 9-1 on the balance beam for Serena Bumbarger as Serena cheering on Alex Pace, the 5'1" freshman out of Bel Air, Maryland, here in the 3rd rotation on the beam for Michigan State.
Scored a 9.6 last weekend. Back handspring step out. So layout step out and fights to put her foot back on the beam.
We saw the Spartans stumble in the Big Ten Network a few weeks ago on the floor. Hopefully the beam is not their Achilles heel tonight.
And after talking to Coach Klages, really trying to put that performance behind them and take what good from it that they can. For the viewers at home that witnessed it, it was a great performance for Michigan State all the way through 3 events and just couldn't hold on to the win at the end. Stumbled a bit on the floor, but trying not to repeat the same thing today. And so far, the freshman pace, setting the pace. A 1.5 dismount, a small step to the side, but a routine that the Spartans will use. Here's a good look at just how thin that beam is. Can barely get 1 foot fully on it. And finishes with a 1.5 twist. And getting things back going for Michigan State.
Awful but safe, as you say. It was like, you got this, lean.
Here's the score for Melissa Fernandez. Solid on the floor, 9-8 for Melissa.
Only the second performer, but inching up close towards that 9.9.
Now it's Alina Weinstein.
Trying to better her 9.8 of last weekend.
She won the all-around last week versus UIC. Sophomore out of Plainsboro, New Jersey.
A full twisting double back. Now Illinois is pulling out the big stuff. This is where Illinois really hopes to take that lead, make the margin quite a bit larger over Michigan State. And that was a front 1.5 called a Rudy to a punch layout step out.
Bringing out the big stuff, as you said, Eddie. Is that any correlation to the performance of Michigan State on the beam, or is it just time and the right rotation and the right discipline here for the Illini to go for it?
All of the above. Oh, and you spoke too soon. And that was such a big routine. The tumbling quality in that routine is equivalent to what you'll see in the finals at the NCAA championships, but just can't hold on to the landing at the end. And that was the full twisting double tuck we saw. And you talked about timing. Right now, the timing is in Michigan State's favor.
So the door has opened up for the home side Spartans. See the score on the beam from Alex Pace. 9-6 for Alex. She looks on. Next up for the Spartans on the beam, Danny Levy. She's been pretty good through the first couple of rotations tonight, has the freshman, the bars and the vault.
She's been great, and you can see there her teammate giving her a few words of confidence, helping her to calm down, telling her to breathe deep and just relax. She's the 4th performer for Michigan State.
So far, she has not looked like a freshman as Danny Levy.
And I can tell you in the future, she's going to be an all-star for Michigan State. Doing a front tuck on the beam. Full turn, requirement that you will see from all the gymnasts today. Very nice leap, showing great amplitude, great form. And she's going to do her dismount in combination with her series. The hamstring step out, layout step out to layout full. What a big routine for Michigan State. Leaving it all out on the floor. And she does her dismount in combination, which is very hard to do. You miss this, you lose a lot of connection in your start value. It won't give it that 10-0 start value. And Coach Klages loving it.
Must feel good for Coach Kathy Klages and this group to smile as Danny Levy getting some congratulations. Weinstein's score on the floor, 9-2. That's what opened the door. And Danny and the Spartans have taken advantage. It's Kelsey Joannades. 9-8 last week on the floor, her best.
Has always been a solid performer on floor.
Had a great freshman year, but not as consistent. Last year, very dynamic. And coach says the best shape of her life. Tied for 34th in the nation on the floor is Joannades.
And she opened with a double tuck. Performing to amazing, trying to be amazing to bring Illinois back in it. Even have the kids in the background dancing.
Kelsey's focus stays on the floor.
Layout, punch front full, and the door opens even wider. And this is shocking. Illinois, being the 6th ranked team in the country on this event, is really struggling with 3 performers left. They will have to count a fall. And a nice finish, but unfortunately had that fall in the middle of the routine. Opening up with a double tuck, which is a strong pass for her.
Here's that mishap you spoke of from Joannades.
And this is just surprising. Just rushes her pass a little bit. Seemed like she got a little bit lost in the air and had to put her hands down. And a big double pike. But an unfortunate fall.
Danny Levy, look at that score, 9-8 on the beam for Levy. And she wants Jackie to keep the momentum going. Jackie Berg back on the beam this week. Dealing with a shoulder injury. She's competing in 3 events, is Jackie Berg.
Hoping to build off the momentum from not only her great bar performance, but also her teammates competing well here on the beam. And her hips are turned out just enough, throws off her balance, and that's going to be a 5/10 deduction. Right now, seeing both teams not really getting a full grasp on this competition, especially in this rotation. Both teams leaving the door open.
The way things have gone, you might expect it from Michigan State, not the Illini.
And if you're Michigan State, you have to like the fact that Illinois also has 2 falls. Both teams with 2 falls. Finishing up with a double full. A routine she wishes she can get back.
And here are those hips you spoke about, Eddie.
You see her hips turning out just enough to throw off her balance, turning out to the left, and she has to come off. Here's a better angle. Her left hip turning slightly out and brings her off the beam. Not a lot of room for error. Sure, Clegg is telling her refocus, prepare for her next event.
Well, a far cry from her best 2 weeks ago. Score at 9-8 there, a 9-2 for Kelsey Joannidis. Amber C will try to settle things down. Second place showing in a personal best versus UIC with a 9-9 on the floor for Amber C. She's a gifted athlete, in the words of her coach, Kim Landrus.
She's earned a trio of runner-up finishes this year. Trying to get that top spot. And a really hard pass to perform. A front double full. It's a layout with 2 twists to a punch front in combination.
Such a determined look on Amber's face during that first pass.
And that's one of the things I love about her gymnastics. She's just incredibly aggressive. You watch when she runs into her passes or even back to the vault, just incredibly aggressive, like a linebacker coming at you. And there's that run. Oh. And you could tell right from the get-go, she was off on that pass. Looked like she got lost in the air. Was just loose off the floor. And again, Illinois having a really tough time. One of those things you just don't expect to see from this team.
Sixth in the nation on the floor, but not living up to the billing tonight. Here in East Lansing are the Fighting Illini.
And C, coming off of Big Ten Freshman of the Week performance, just gets a little behind in the twist. Has to take a fall. A great twister, but just a little bit off tonight.
Jackie Berg moments ago on the beam. Score at 9-1 for Jackie.
You got it, Kelsey.
Kelsey looks pretty cool, does Kelsey Morley. Final competitor on the balance beam for Michigan State.
And this is a big routine with Illinois' 3 falls. If she stays on the beam, hits a decent routine, Michigan State could quite in fact take the lead going into the last rotation, regardless of what Allison Buckley does next.
If you told a lot of people that about an hour and a half ago, they would be shocked if the Spartans had the lead going into that 4th rotation.
A very elegant gymnast, showing nice dance on the beam. Very unique transitions. A front aerial to a back handspring. Really trying to hang on. Teammates giving her encouragement and back. A front Rudy and a stuck landing. And Michigan State has to really love the position that they're in right now. Not their best beam performance, but good enough that this is going to keep them in the game.
Kelsey Morley keeps him in the game with his performance.
And even right there, I think she was supposed to do an aerial after that, but saves it. Not going to be a major deduction. And brings in a big stick.
Amber C's score on the floor, 9-2, as the door remains open for the Spartans. Next in the final on the floor exercise, Allison Buckley.
Has had 8 career titles on this event.
Coach Landress said she doesn't have a weak event. Such a great all-arounder. She's trained right from the start on everything, and she's just an incredible athlete, is Allison Buckley.
And again, only 5 event titles shy of setting the Illini record. And that was a Rudy, a front layout with a 1.5 twist to a layout step out. Allison was co-Big Ten Gymnast of the week of January 24th. Always consistent, always reliable.
She's finding the camera too, is Allison. Use the term Rudy. Eddie, explain that.
Rudy is a front layout with a 1.5 twist, which goes all the way up to a Randy, which is a front layout with a 2.5 twist. And finishing with a double pike. And this is the Illinois that we know. Had some unfortunate routines. And with Illinois finishing on the beam, Michigan State is going to have the advantage here.
A solid performance from Buckley on the floor. And another look at this.
And this is the front double full punch front done in combination. And finishing with a double pike. Could be seeing another event title from Allison tonight.
We love you, buddy. Yeah.
Kelsey Morley, 9-8 on the balance beam. And some more admiration and respect to their teammate Catherine Mahoney. And near an exhibition for the Spartans, Tara Neal.
And I'm sure Catherine's watching this right here in spirit with the team, enjoying every second of it, watching her teammates fight.
And she inspires the rest of us as the competitor nicknamed Money, and here inspiring her Michigan State teammates. So far, so good through 3 rotations.
And this is an exhibition routine. So this routine will not count towards the team score. Again, an opportunity for your athlete to compete, get more experience without having the score count towards the team score. So the routine won't hurt them. See, she has very nice high leaps, showing great positions. And a layup full dismount.
Here's a close look at the feet of Neal.
You can see the toll that an event like this takes on you. Ankles taped. And just off. With 4 inches, there's just not a lot of room for error on the beam. Slightly low on the landing.
Okay.
Neal gets some words from Coach Plagas. Allison Buckley, final score on the floor, 9-9 for Allison Buckley. As my partner Eddie Humphrey said, that is more like the Fighting Illini we expect. And here the final exhibition on the floor for the Illini, Elise Gill.
And that was the biggest score of the evening that we've seen thus far.
And it was Buckley with that big score. Here's Gill on the exhibition.
Very nice double pike.
She's improved a lot since her freshman year as Elise Gill.
And with performances like this, she could find herself in the lineup. A whip punch half to a front layout full. And this is good experience, going out there, competing, getting used to competing in front of an audience, in front of judges. It's always a little bit different from what you train in practice as you go to the meet. You always tell your athletes you want it to be exactly the same, but there's nothing like actually getting out there, putting on the uniform, saluting the judge, and going after your routine.
And here a little of a different situation for Elise Gill because the rest of her teammates experiencing a little adversity today. Michigan State is putting up a good fight.
And that's a routine. If you're Illinois, you almost wish that you could throw in there and count.
It's nicely done by Elise Gill.
A layout to a front layout with a full twist.
Here's a score for Neal on the beam. 9:07.5 for Neal on the beam. As we mentioned, don't miss the biggest conference event of the year as teams from around the Big Ten compete for individual and team titles at the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championships, coming to you Saturday, March 19th at 3 Eastern from Minnesota, only on the Big Ten Network. More gifted athletes coming ahead in March, and we're going to look at these gifted athletes here in the 4th rotation. When we come back to East Lansing, Michigan, the Spartans go to the floor. The Fighting Illini will finish up on the beam. After 3 rotations, we look at the scores, and Eddie, we've got a good meet going on right now. It's a close one.
We have a great meet going on, and Michigan State really has to like their chances right now with Illinois finishing on beam. You never know what can happen on beam. And like I said at the beginning of the show, this was going to be make it or break it. And it's going to come down to the final few competitors of Illinois. Melissa Fernandez, Kelsey Joannides, both went 9.9 last week. They're going to need to do the same thing again if they want to hold on to this lead.
Well, Big Ten fans, now you can get free programming alerts in your mobile phone. You can be the first to know when your favorite coaches and players will appear on the Big Ten Network. Just text alerts to 20284 or log on to BigTenNetwork.com/alerts. Victory Plank Trophy. That's what those women are texting about. That's the Victory Plank Traveling Trophy. It was created by Michigan State boosters, reminiscent when they used to make it a beam out of wood. As Illinois won the first one last year, they've traveled with it up here to East Lansing, and they hope to bring it home. But there's been some problems in that plan tonight as the Spartans have been quite stingy, and we see the floor results from the Fighting Illini, and there's that tremendous performance, the best performance that we've seen tonight from Allison Buckley with the 9.9.
It was a great routine, deserved every tenth of that, but Illinois had 3 hiccups in there, and they will have to count 2 falls.
Now to the beam results from Michigan State, and it was Kelsey Morley and Danny Levy leading the way with the pair of 9.8s.
Morley has been very consistent for this season for Michigan State, really coming through big, showing her status as a leader, scoring a 9.8. Michigan State does have to count a fall, but they are right in this competition.
When we look at the lineups upcoming here in the 4th rotation, on the beam, Weinstein opening things up for the Fighting Illini, and this is going to be an important beam performance for Illinois.
Illinois has their big 3 finishing in the 4, 5, and 6 position, and they're going to need some huge routines.
We saw a meltdown from the Spartans on the floor a few weeks ago against the University of Minnesota right here on the Big Ten Network. They're hoping to avoid that meltdown, and it will lead them to their first dual meet win this season through 3 rotations. We look at our all-around scores. Buckley on top.
As expected, Allison Buckley is leading the way, just over a 2/10 lead over the surpriser freshman Levy.
We've seen some highlights, including the freshman Danny Levy, who certainly has not looked like a first-year collegiate.
And these were some great routines. You saw Morley compete that front Rudy that we talked about. And Allison Buckley coming in big with a 9.9. A solid performance on the floor exercise.
And there was a little pressure there on Allison Buckley because her team has stumbled a little bit. They needed a good performance there, and she certainly delivered.
She did. She gave them everything they needed, because with 3 falls before that, one more probably would have taken them completely out of this meet.
Be confident, guys. Let's do it.
Be confident. We'll see if the Fighting Illini can do it. 7th nationally on the beam are the orange and blue.
That's okay.
You would think of the 2 teams, Michigan State is much more relaxed here before the 4th rotation because they're not supposed to be this close, Eddie.
Exactly, and I'm seeing a complete different attitude, a new kind of poise from Michigan State. And in the position they're in, they have everything to gain, nothing to lose, where it's vice versa for Illinois. So the pressure is all on Illinois right now. There's the full turn requirement. Preparing for her series. Back handspring step out. Layout step out. Performed nicely.
Selena Weinstein from New Jersey, the sophomore. She's had an up and down day.
A small wobble. Stays on.
Will the wobble be noticed by the judges?
They will. The judges will probably take a 1/2 attempt for the wobble. Trust me, judges don't miss a thing. Dismount, a 1.5, and a good start for Illinois. You can see how small the margin of error is. And a 1.5. Small movement with the feet. Good start for Illinois on the beam.
Still see that look of concern though from Alina, even after a successful performance on the beam. Knowing that her team has to take care of business is Serena Bumbarger. And it's going to be really interesting, Eddie, to see how the Spartans perform on the floor here now with some pressure, but this is good pressure. Perform well and you win.
And they've struggled with that all season, is starting out great, but closing the door. So here's the first true test. Double pike. And the Spartan fans, they haven't been used to this season. You can really hear the excitement in the back. There's a lot of energy in this arena right now. Michigan State trying to come into their own. With only one tumbling pass remaining.
Serena Bumbarger trying to start things off on the floor well here in the final rotation for Michigan State.
Heading into her last tumbling pass. Front handspring, front full to a front tuck. And that's the start that Michigan State is looking for. And you look at the energy, the difference between Illinois and Michigan State right now, and it is in favor of Michigan State. A lot of high fives, a lot of smiles, a lot of energy. A front full to a layout. And you see the teammates in the back giving her that energy, finishing with a front full to a tuck. And Coach Kalegas wants her to hurry up and get over so she can celebrate.
Must be so satisfying to see the smiles on her Spartans. Weinstein score on the beam, a 9-7. To start things off on the beam for Illinois. Next up, Sam Perino, the Virginia native. 9-8 on the floor for Perino.
Her season best is a 9.775. She earned those marks last weekend. Nice jump combination. In the all-important series. No problems there. Beautiful jumps. Front tuck. Very well done. She's looking very confident, very solid right now.
All business is Sam Perino. And she gets the job done.
And business as usual. Illinois showing why they are a top 10 team in the country on this event. And this is the series of back handspring to a layout step out. And finishes with a gainer pike. Should be seeing a higher score.
Serena Bumbarger moments ago getting taped, her score on the floor, 9-7-7. Also some ice there for Bumbarger's playing with pain. Ripped fingernails, ice. It's not a game. It's not a meet for the meek. Here's Kelsey Mazer, the freshman. It's been a struggle. She had a concussion in October and was shut down for 3 weeks. She got into shape and had trouble getting back to normal. Now just coming back, but not there fully.
Well, she looks like she's almost there fully with a double pike like that. Heading into the corner for her second pass. One and a half punch front, and that's where we saw her and her teammates struggle just a few weeks ago. Has no problems there. Michigan State trying to cover just over a 5/10 deficit. They need a big landing.
Was it good enough?
That was a really nice pass. Has to take just a little bit of a slip, a little bit of a step, but probably only a half attempt deduction. Definitely the routine that you want. Routine to build the energy even more. Her teammates love it, the coach loves it, she loves it. Can't ask for much more than that.
Another look at the performance from Kelsey Mazer.
And here was the double pike that she opened with. Very clean landing. Just a small step forward.
Hi, Dad. Hi, John.
And the parents getting all the shout outs tonight.
There's Perino's score on the beam. Impressive 9.85 for Samantha Perino.
And she has plenty to smile about after that routine.
And here's Amber C. Her coach calls her the little diamond because she's so powerful. As Eddie mentioned, the Big Ten co-freshman of the week along with Sarah Miller of Ohio State. The little diamond goes to work on the beam.
And her Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors marks the first time an Illinois gymnast has actually received that honor.
That was just started in 2010, so we'll see a lot of orange and blue in the future receiving those honors.
And Illinois is looking great on the beam today.
7th nationally on the beam of the Fighting Illini.
Very steady, very confident in all of their landings. Not showing any weakness. And this is more of the Illinois that we expect to see. Confident, trusting their gymnastics. The cartwheel step into a full. This is why Illinois is one of the best on this event.
And here Amber C. and her teammates doing their best work when it really counts, when they need it.
And a look at the dismount. A cartwheel step in to a layout with a full twist. Sigh of relief.
Kelsey Mazer, impressive 9.8 on the floor. So Kelsey cheering on Jackie Berg, who is next up on the floor, hoping that she can keep things moving in a positive direction for Michigan State. Jackie Berg, the junior out of Tinley Park, Illinois.
Both schools going toe-to-toe. Not giving any room for error.
Who will falter first?
And that's a 1.5 twist. Also called a Rudy. Double pike. Not leaving much room for error.
Unique and creative routine here by Jackie Berg.
As we saw in her last routine on the beam, has unique style to her gymnastics, to her dance, giving that extra little flair, and finishing with the front full punch front. Michigan State not having a problem with the twist this day.
More of the same from the Spartans and Jackie Berg.
And Michigan State keeps the ball rolling. Not letting up at all. A very nice double pike. Almost sticks it. And the reaction from Coach Kalagas. A lot of fist pumping tonight. Seeing a much different Spartan team.
Amber C's score on the balance beam as her teammates mess with her. 9-7-7 for.
And now Illinois seems to be getting into their groove, having a little bit more fun, looking a little more relaxed.
It's Kelsey Joannides. Next up on the beam for Illinois.
Scored a career high of a 9.9 on this event. Also won this event last weekend. Very nicely done. See all of her movements, all of her gymnastic skills, everything is nice and smooth. She really takes her time. Front aerial. And Illinois isn't even giving up so much as a wobble today. And another stuck landing. These are the type championship qualities that you like to see in your team. Struggled a bit on floor, an event that's usually very strong for them, but showing great poise, coming back, swinging big, going hard, and hitting routines on one of the most difficult events. The dismount. And lots of fives from the teammates.
It's been a resilient performance tonight from the University of Illinois, as Eddie mentioned. The stumbles on the floor, but making up for it on the beam. You see Jackie Berg's score and a big hello to Mother. 9.8 and a hello to Money. Catherine Mahoney. See a dollar inside the heart adorns each leotard, celebrating the career of her fallen teammate, Catherine Mahoney.
Nikki Argyros, hometowner from Livonia, Michigan, competed for Michigan Academy of Gymnastics.
I guess Livonia is under the umbrella of East Lansing's close enough.
It's within about an hour, I'd say. Producing good gymnasts, and why not keep them in the state?
She's competing on a sore knee.
And if you look closely, you can see the knee is wrapped, as well as the ankle.
It's limited her practice time, but she's impressed the coaching staff with what she can accomplish with that knee, as Nikki Argyros.
Has been a great asset to this team for the last 5 years. One of Michigan State's most consistent performers. Always reliable. And right on cue, Michigan State ends with another good routine. And you have to love this from Michigan State. A lot of smiles on the bench. It has been an extremely tough season for them, battling injuries, battling a lot of setbacks, but showing that determination today. They're clawing away, fighting for every 10th. And a double tuck, not an easy pass to finish with.
Seen a lot of those tonight. A happy Coach Klages with the high fives.
Much different than what we saw earlier.
Come on now.
Kelsey Joannides score. That's a pretty good one on the beam. 9-9 for Joannides.
A huge score.
Here's Allison Buckley, the senior. 2 career All-American honors for the senior Allison Buckley. Goes to work on the beam.
The second Illini first team All-American. She earned that honor last year on the vault at the NCAA championships.
Because of the tight score, Eddie, do you keep things a little safer?
If I'm the coach of Illinois, I tell my team, go out and swing big, no holding back, and go after the victory. Also on the line is the all-around title. Coming into this event with a 2.5 tenth lead, and she doesn't look like she's going to give that way.
It's almost mechanical for Buckley.
Yeah, I think she could probably do these routines in her sleep. Doesn't look like she has to think too hard about them. Just goes out there and does her job. Cartwheel step in, layout full, and that should seal up the all-around victory for her tonight. And this was a really strong performance. Great to see Illinois coming back. Finishing with a lot of stuck landings. As we see there with Buckley's cartwheel step into a layout full.
Moments ago,
That's for you, Monty, right there.
on the floor,
Hope you're having fun watching us.
she says hello to her teammate, Catherine Mahoney and Nikki Argyros. She's having some fun, and that was for money, as this is the sophomore, Shanti Taiki. Columbus, Indiana.
There's no doubt Catherine Mahoney, she's enjoying this. Having fun, watching her teammates having fun, hit routines. And we want to send our best to Catherine as well to heal quickly.
You know she has to admire the fight in this performer, Shanti Taiki, because she brings a lot of courage to the floor.
She really does, and again, we talked about that knee brace on there, and you could see it affect her a little bit on that first pass. Just not quite the same power that we usually see her compete with. It brings a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion and energy to her dance. A layout to a front full in combination.
Love the music selection too. The drums go so well with the floor exercise.
And it's very unique. Fits her style perfectly.
She led the Spartans on the floor last week with a score of 9-8.
And she usually competes in the all-around. Is not competing in the all-around today. And a tough finish, had to put her hands down on her first tumbling pass. But assuming Her freshman teammate comes up next and hits the routine. They won't have to count that fall. Performing a front Rudy. A layout with a 1.5 twist.
And Allison Buckley is the all-around meet champion, the senior. Beam score 9-9 for Buckley. She has done everything well tonight for the Fighting Illini on the road.
She's going to have at least the all-around title tonight, putting her one routine closer to breaking that Illinois record for the most titles.
Final performer here on the beam for Illinois, Melissa Fernandez.
And Fernandez is one of the best in the country on this event. Consistently, every single year, placing in the top 10. The first Illini to become a first-team All-American. Currently ranked 14th in the nation on the balance beam. Side aerial. Illinois looking very strong, finishing on the beam. Trying to bring the plank back to Champaign. And finishing with a double full. And that might be the performance of the evening.
Melissa Fernandez pulls it off.
A big routine. Really fighting on the beam, not showing any wobbles. Setting up a big double full and bringing it home with a stuck landing.
Didn't see many wobbles, to borrow Eddie's term, here in the fourth rotation on the beam. The Fighting Illini have been calm and cool as Shanti Taiki. Her score on the floor, 9-2 for Taiki. So they try to keep things positive. The freshman will wrap things up on the floor. Danny Levy, and we saw a couple of weeks ago, Danny struggled on the floor in the Big Ten Network. The way things have gone today, I'm just guessing, Eddie, that she's going to have a much better performance.
Well, you'd hope to see so. This has been a great improvement for Michigan State thus far. And you'd like to see them cap it off with a big routine. An Arabian double tuck. One of the biggest passes of the night.
Since the struggles a few weeks ago, she's gone down from 3 tumbling passes, now down to 2. Simplify things a little bit.
Well, with that first pass, there was nothing simple about it. It was huge, it was difficult, and she did it perfect. And look at the teammates just loving it in the back. That is an upgraded pass. Adding a twist to it and adding a front tuck before. And you gotta love the excitement. You have to be very happy for Michigan State, regardless if they win or lose today. I'm sure Money is sitting at home, loving what she saw from her teammates today. This was the Arabian double tuck, a blind landing, meaning that you can't see the floor until you land.
She fell 3 times on the floor a few weeks ago. That was just a different Danny there.
This was a huge difference.
Melissa's Fernandez's score on the balance beam, 9-9 for Fernandez.
Yet another one for the Illini.
There's Danny Levy. It's been a good performance, not just for her, but the rest of the green and white tonight.
And it's great to see them get back on track. This is what they've been trying to get going all season. And here, one last meet before senior night, and they put it together.
A 9-8 score for Danny on the floor. Pretty impressive work for the freshman.
And should put up a good fight for the second place finish in the all-around.
When we come back, we'll have a recap, a wrap, and we'll check out overall scores as things move along here on the Big Ten Network.
Like I said, we made it twice.
Well, there are the beam results, and what a performance from Buckley, Joannidis, and Fernandez, and the rest of the Fighting Illini crew.
And just as we said before, it was going to come down to the big three, and the big three went huge, all scoring 9.9, sealing it for the Illini.
So the big three get the job done on the beam. We look at the floor results, and a much better performance by the Spartans on the floor than we saw a few weeks back.
And what an incredible turnaround it was for Michigan State. It was great to see them work together as a team, get out there, be fired up, and have a great competition, finishing great on the floor.
Eddie Humphrey, Dan Kelly back alongside with you. And the Spartans, they look like a gigantic underdog coming into this meet, but they certainly didn't perform like it today. And there has to be a lot of positive feelings for Kathy Klages' team.
Yes, there's a lot of positives tonight, a lot for them to build on. It was great seeing them coming out and just finally hit like they were capable of.
For the Fighting Illini, it took a while, but they showed their greatness as the meet moved on.
You know, they had a few hiccups that you probably won't see from them the rest of this season, but it was nice to see them on the balance beam, come home, rock it big, 3.3 9.9s, just what you would expect to see from the Illini.
Check the all-around team scores for today's meet between Michigan State and the University of Illinois, and it was a close one. Fighting Illini prevail.
And just like last year, it was a 1/10 victory for Illinois. This year, only just over 2/10 victory over Michigan State. Another great battle for that plank.
And we saw a lot of great highlights from the orange and blue today, Eddie.
Kelsey Joannidis getting back to form where she won that Big Ten vaulting title. And Jackie Bird showing her leadership, sticking a big double layout. And Allison Buckley leading the way of the entire evening, winning the all-around, tumbling big. And Melissa Fernandez showing why she is one of the best in the country on the balance beam. Again, Illinois sticking the landings, not giving any room for error. And they needed every single 10th of it. And Allison Buckley, your overall winner, winning the all-around tonight with a final score of a 39.475, just 3.5 tenths, winning the victory.
14th ranked Fighting Illini might be moving on up, but tonight was more than just about gymnastics, the first annual Autism Awareness Night, and it was started by a special team physician for Michigan State.
That's right, Larry Nassar, he's just doing a fantastic job for Michigan State and USA Gymnastics, being the head team doctor. And I think I speak for the entire gymnastics community when I say nobody can say enough good things about Larry. Bringing in Olympic world champion Nastia Liukin, doing a lot of great fundraising to support autism, and there's just enough good things can't be said.
Well, we said some good things about the Big Ten tournament coming up in March. Just how good are these Fighting Illini, and will we see and hear a lot from them?
Well, we are going to be seeing these Fighting Illini fight to the very end. Michigan is always the team to beat, but you can never count out Illinois, qualifying for the NCAA championships a couple years ago. But it's going to be an amazing championship.
Eddie, it was fun as always. Thanks.
As always, another great meet for the Big Ten. Until next time.
Illinois wins a close one. A reminder, our next women's gymnastics show will be live tomorrow, 1 Eastern, when Ohio State visits Penn State. For Eddie Humphrey, I'm Dan Kelly. So long and good night from East Lansing.
All